Morning all. Got Jeff out today because I'm gonna do some sluicing, so I had a sluice box to pack, so I got Jeff with me. The plan is I'm gonna clean up the gravel I stockpiled last time I was in here, and why I do that, just gonna see if he can neener me by picking out some gold here with the SDC that I missed. I'm thinking his odds are pretty good because the water's quite a bit lower now, and it opened up a whole new area we can look. So I'm thinking he's going to find some gold today.
Thought I heard a bear.
Ah. All right, well, it's going to be hot, so we're going to get at it right now while it's nice out. This area right here is the gravel we stockpiled last time we were here. We got gravel right here underneath me. This is the gravel that was in the water the last time here that we washed down, but we really couldn't work it because it was in the water. This is all dry now, so we're gonna take this gravel and this gravel, run it through the sluice box, and just see what we can come up with.
How do I set it for lead? You have it set for gold. How do I set it for lead?
The big switch on the bottom.
Think you missed that one.
I left that one. Okay, I'm feeling a little better. I was getting pretty nervous there because that target sounded good, and it turned out to be a little lead split shot.
You lied to me. It is set on lead.
Oops. I'm going to get to what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be running a sluice box. I think I found a pretty good spot here to set up the sluice box. But one thing I want to cover real quick here, and I know I'm preaching to the choir on this channel, but I walked up here and seen this, and it just pisses me off. I just don't understand how people can go off and leave their trash. And, you know, I know it's not the miners. They respect the river. But I'm here to tell you, if I catch you, you got an ass kicking coming. Okay, got that off my chest. Let's go set up the sluice box. I got the little sluice box. And to be honest with you, the reason I got the little one is I cannot find my big one. And this is fine for the small amount of gravel we got to do today. But the principles on the sluice box are all the same. Doesn't matter if it's big, little. As far as sluice boxes go, sluice boxes are great because you can run a lot of gravel through a sluice box. You'd be surprised the amount of gravel you can run through a sluice box in a day. The reason I don't run sluice boxes very often is you have to have a place to set them up close to where you're working. And sometimes that's just not possible. Luckily, we're not too far here. I only got to carry the material about 50 feet. But some creeks, you know, it could be 100 yards because you can only set up a sluice box in certain areas. So they're really limited in that respect. That's why I much prefer the high banker. And the only problem with a high banker is right now in California, you can't get caught using one. When you're setting up the sluice box, you need to find a section of the river that has enough fall where you can get the flow you need through the sluice box. Now, there's several different things you want to consider. Number one, you want to have where it drops off the end of your box so you have a place for your tailings so you don't have to spend a lot of time clearing your tailings. Ideally, you want your water coming straight into the box. Now, a lot of times you can't get that, but that's what you're shooting for, is you want your water to come straight into the box. You want the box set up to begin with at 1 inch per foot of box drop. That's your beginning point. Now you vary that depending on the gold that's in the river. If you're in a river where there's very few large pieces and it's mostly fine gold, well then you want to set your box a little bit on the flat side. Where if you're in a creek where there's very little fine flood gold, but it's mostly larger pieces, you can go ahead and set your box a little steeper angle. But what I go by is you got to make sure you always end up with sand behind your riffle. And we just had a frog swim up to me. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the bucket. Let's run some material. We got the box set up. First thing we want to do is run a little bit of gravel through. Now, what I'm thinking about, make sure your gravel is wet. If it's not wet, go ahead and put a little bit of water in the bucket. Okay, we'll dump the gravel in and just see how it behaves. Okay, we're not getting much movement at all, so our box isn't quite steep enough. Okay, let's steepen her up a bit. Okay, now the box is at about the right angle, but we don't have enough water. So to get more water, we have to either allow more water to come into this spot, or we have to dam it up, see if we can get more flow go through the box, or we may have to find a new spot. Okay, I was able to remove a couple of rocks upstream and get a lot more flow. It looks like we may be too steep now. Actually, that's not bad. Now, what you look at is your gravel. I am light on this side and heavy on that side. So that tells me my box is either a little out of level or my water is not coming in straight. But it's so little, right now I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I do not classify my material. Now I know a lot of people do, and if you're in a river that has real fine gold, that'd probably be to your advantage. Okay, now I'm looking at my box, now I've run a little more gravel. We are a little too steep, so I'm gonna flatten it out a bit. Okay. Put a little more gravel through there. Okay, now what we're looking for is gravel behind each riffle. And we're a little too flat, so I got to find a rock right in between those two. And here is our new elevation rock. We'll run a little more gravel. Now what I do is I'll dump gravel in the top, and then I'll just grab the rocks and throw them out, and then let it work on down. Okay, we're looking pretty good right now. Okay, let's just run some material. Now, I feed material a lot faster than most people do. And my theory is, yeah, I might be losing some real fine gold, but I'm going to run a lot more material and maybe pick up 1 or 2 more heavy pieces that'll be way more than those fine. Now, if you're in a river that has nothing but fine gold, well then that theory is not going to work for you. And then one thing you want to do is keep your fingers out of this part of the box. You can reach in and pull a rock, but anytime you put your hand in the water, you're creating a eddy around that riffle, and it can blow the gold out and down into the next riffle. And if you do that too much, you will eventually walk it out of the box. Okay, that is the last of that bucket. So what I want to do is pull the big rocks out and then just leave that to slowly clear while I go get another bucket. I'll be right back. I'm seeing a lot of black sand building up at the top, which is good. That means if your black sand is walking back slowly, that means your box is set up pretty good. Okay, we're getting down to the bottom of our last bucket here. Okay, I'm gonna get the last of material in here. Now, you got to be real careful to make sure you get all of your material out of that bucket, because your gravel being wet, it's going to put your gold, your best stuff, at the bottom. Now, what you do to get your box out of the river, there's two methods. You can stick your 5-gallon bucket into the end of the sluice box and just pick it up, or you can pick the back of the box up until the flow stops and then pick it straight up. Since we got plenty of water behind us, we're going to use the bucket method. Just stick that in there, then we'll shove it into the box and pick it up. We're going to go over the water's a little calmer and wash it out. Okay, I'm liking this spot a lot better. It's in the shade and not quite so noisy. Okay, we got our sluice box here. We got a nice calm spot. So what I like to do is take your gold pan and just wash everything you can out of the sluice box. Okay, once we get that, then we can come in here and take the ripples loose. Okay. Then we'll just go ahead, slide our mat into the box. Take a little bit of water and rinse everything out. Now I am getting a little bit nervous because I have not seen a piece of gold. Now we'll take and wash our mat off real good. Now I don't get too silly about this because my theory is if you got gold in the mat, it's not going anywhere. It'll be there next time and eventually it'll come out. Okay, now I like, before I do any panning, I like to put everything back where it goes. That way you don't go off and leave parts. Those 2.5 buckets come down to 1 10-inch pan. Okay, we have gold because I can see some real fine gold showing up in the back already. We got quite a bit of black sand, so this is going to take a bit. Now when you're panning out your concentrates, you got to remember they are concentrates. So all your heavies will be in this pan. So it's very difficult for the gold, the lighter gold, to get down to the bottom. So you want to make sure you take your time. Okay, we are getting down to the very bottom. It's getting harder to pan because the smaller pieces want to stay on top of the gravel. I think we might be getting as far as we can go. Okay. I think I'm going to go over the camera. We'll take a look at this together. Okay. This is actually really hard to do. You can see we got a little bit of gold in there. Oh, we got quite a bit of gold in there. Not too shabby. Okay, I'm going to attempt to clean this up a little more and give you a better shot. It's really hard to get that to separate. That black sand is so heavy. But you can see we got a pretty good spread of gold. Okay, well, I'm going to throw all these concentrates in a bag and we'll clean them up when we get home. Well, I'm kind of tickled. I knew there'd be gold in that gravel because we were finding gold when we were panning our targets. But there's a little more gold in there than I thought there'd be. I'm guessing we got a gram of gold in that pan. Okay, now I think we got to go see how Jeff's doing. Now, I haven't heard any hollering out of him, so he may be killing the lead. I'm thinking that if he was finding gold, I'd be hearing some hooting and hollering. But I'm going to grab everything up, put it all in one pile so we can find it when it's time to go, and let's go see how Jeff's doing. And this is how I found Jeff. Thought for a minute he had died because he's down in a hole in the full sun with absolutely no wind whatsoever. So I'm thinking he must be finding gold. Right there. Yeah, right in there. Okay, you got it.
I got a pan full of stuff and the target's in the shovel.
We'll dump half it in your hand and check it and throw what's left in the pan.
My brain's half fried from sitting out here in the sun.
That's not good since I only started with half a brain.
I know. Probably right there.
We'll check the shovel. We'll just dump it out on the rocks over there. You dumped it out.
I did.
We will never know.
As loud as it is?
Yep, it's gone forever. Jeff just threw his piece of gold away. Well, it's way too warm for this old guy. I think we're heading out of here. I just finished the last of my water. We both got gold, and it's not even the hot part of the day yet. It's only like 2 in the afternoon. So we're gonna head home, and I think we've been talking pretty serious about jumping in that river next time we come down here. So I think we got a sniping video on the horizon.
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll see you back at the house. Back at the house, and definitely the next day. It was hot up there. How hot, you ask? Well, hot enough that it melted the case on my ND filter. I left it sitting in the sun. Now, one thing I want to cover is while we were up there, Jeff found a really nice nugget. Now, I thought I got it all on film. Got home, I got nothing. So, I don't know. With me not being able to see the screen, I probably thought I hit record and didn't. Who knows? But hopefully, Jeff's got it all on film. And we'll have to wait and see when his video comes out just how he found it. What do you say we jump over and see how Jeff and I did? Now, as usual, I ran everything through the 50 mesh. What went through the 50 mesh goes into the black sand bucket, and we'll clean that up this winter. What's set on top, I cleaned that up, and I'm here to tell you it was tough. We had a lot of really coarse, heavy black sand. Okay, let's see how we did. 1.56 grams. Digest nugget, 2.42 grams. Not too shabby. Well, 1.5 grams, I'm kind of tickled with that. Now, grant you, it wasn't enough to beat Jeff. That was a nice piece of gold Jeff found up there. Now, as far as the sluice box goes, I know it's kind of a quick, rough thing on the sluice box. And like I say in the video, I don't run them a lot because, you know, they're got to have a spot in the river to set them up is the problem, and that may not be where you want to work. But if you have any questions on the sluice box, put them in the comments. And if we have to, I got no problem heading back up and doing a little more in-depth on running the sluice box. Okay, well, right now, it's going to be hot again today. So I got to get to work because I want to get done and get out before it gets too hot. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.